There we go. And I will welcome you all into this incredible house that we've built here. I welcome you to the Maui County Government and Nonprofit Career Fair. I'm Nico Fisher, the project manager for Maui County Virtual Job Fair website. We have been planning these special events for you, highlighting the many Maui County government and nonprofit jobs available, hoping to inspire you to consider working for a cause greater than yourself. So today, Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll be having a slew of virtual events, and we'll finish off with the in-person job fair at the University of Hawaii, Maui County in the Paina building from 3 to 6. That's on Thursday. So today we've been concentrating on sharing outlook on today's government and nonprofit jobs, but today we're going into a little bit of internship and training. We had keynote speaker Dean Wong, we had Linda Popolo being the moderator for an excellent panel, and now we have Juli Patao, who is going to be talking to us about all sorts of opportunities and ways that we can move ourselves forward. So we're bringing to you credible information, informative information, and inspirational talks to help you as job seekers find a job, employers to hire the best Maui has to offer, and for you to learn a little bit along the way. So I'm going to introduce Juli, who is an assistant professor at the Cooperative Education at the University of Hawaii, Maui College. She coordinates internships, opportunities, and teaches year-round as course content includes financial education, career assessment tools, employer benefits, differences between union and non-union workplaces, and the best tips from an HR perspective. She oversees CareerLink at UHMC's Career Center and provides guest speaking in schools and events promoting higher education, equity, and access for all people. She's going to be doing a Q&A at the end of the session. And then I just want to say, if you want to change your view, there's a link, a view box at the top right corner of your screen, and you can put it on speaker just to have Juli. She's going to be sharing a PowerPoint with us, so you might want to do that. And then, as I said, we'll have Q&A at the end. So I'm going to give it to you, Juli, to take it away.
Thank you. Thanks, Nico, and thanks for that very beautiful introduction. And I can't go on without saying that I'm actually a product of my former mentor, who was the former faculty here at Maui College. Her name is Wallet Pellegrino. And believe it or not, she used to be my high school counselor at Maui High. So talk about the pipeline of education. I am a first generation student. So what that means is I'm the first person from my family to actually attend and graduate college. So it is definitely with privilege that I get to share with everyone about today. That being said, my agenda for today will talk about 4 different areas. Just career help, where we need to go or where we can go to ask for help, how we can go about preparing now, identifying T&T is types and timelines about getting hired. And within that, I'm also going to be sharing about the different certificates, training opportunities, and just some summer offerings that are happening, as well as number 4 is about tough topics. And sometimes, you know, we don't have someone to ask about these tough questions that we, you know, we're to Karen. So that being said, that's how our agenda will start off with. So career help. Today, because of COVID, everyone who might have internet access has access to help. And we know that internet may not be available for a lot of people, but there are locations that do have internet assistance, McDonald's, Starbucks. So for those who might need internet connectivity, there's hotspot locations that provide you access to go online and what have you. And so you can get so much assistance either virtually, in person, or on the phone. And then the next question is really, what do I need to ask? So one of the great places that was already shared in the previous workshop presentation was the American Job Center. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on the American Job Center, but I will share with you the resources and service providers that are available under the American Job Center umbrella is huge. So if you come back tomorrow for Tuesday's presentation, you'll be able to hear that from Karen. And so this is their website that you can access and learn more about departmental areas that are here to assist you right here in Maui County. The other location is here. Our Maui College is, our career center is called CareerLink. And this is a drone view of where we are located, and what a beautiful site it is, because it's just a different angle. And the Laulima building, which is where I'm located, is this building closest to the swap meet area. Normally we see the swap meet with a whole bunch of tents, but notice it's the beautiful green grassy area, and the Laulima building is right here. And where we're holding our job fair on Thursday is right here, the Paina building, which is right next to the Laulima building. So if you enter through the back parking lot area, you can park right in front, and the job fair will be right here in the Paina building. This is our contact information. So one of the great things that we have on our website, and this is our Career Spots website, I wanted to share with you a real quick video of that, and hopefully it'll take me to there. What does career ready mean? And I'm hoping that this sound will also work. So let's see. It was nice to hear this from a different angle. So a couple minutes, folks, if you guys can hear this.
Beyond the relationship that you have with your particular employer.
Me, career ready would be being able to find a job in my field right after college.
Career readiness is going in with an open mind. I know some things, I don't know everything. So I'm gonna go and absorb from the tasks that I'm doing and from the people around me, knowledge.
Being career ready, is having a job placement out of college, and being prepared with the essentials that you need to succeed in the workplace.
As a student is looking into getting a job in the workplace, making sure that he or she is ready for what that job requires. So understanding the company culture, understanding what you want to get out of the job, understanding what the job wants from you, and being able to deliver on that.
Career readiness is really important to me. I know that when I went through school, I wasn't mentored, I had no internships. So it was very important as we were starting a program at my institution that we really wove that into the fabric of the program itself.
Career readiness in Japanese is 仕事の準備.
One of the biggest skill gaps we see right now in regards to career readiness is some of the softer or social skills, being able to interact, interpersonal skills, having conversations, making eye contact, keeping engaged in a conversation, even though you may not know that individual very well.
So if you set yourself up and you practice these and you're able to show them in interviews, it's going to set you apart and ultimately get you a job.
Career readiness would be being prepared to be in the real world, knowing things about my future job, hopefully from school.
Career readiness in Cebuano is preparado para sa trabaho nimo.
One of the most valuable things you can do is to meet someone who's actually working in that industry today. And I think people underestimate the amount of insight that individuals have, and more importantly, the influence they can have over your trajectory in that particular career.
Most important thing is to be a handful of fit. It's not your title. It's not your salary. You want to make sure you're comfortable with the company you work for, and the company is comfortable with you.
So I would challenge, today's career seekers to be humble to look at their opportunity and say, I got to start with where I am. And then the other thing that will help motivate through the ups and downs and maybe some of the challenges is stay hungry and stay curious.
Okay. What an interesting and dynamic video. It is hosted on our hawaii.edu/CareerLink website under career spots. And I will drop that link into our the chat here. And it's on the lower left hand side of our screen called Career Spots Videos. It is available for anyone who wants, you know, career assistance at your fingertips. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, free resources about different types of career questions you might have. So go ahead and click on that link. It is open to our community, not just to college students. The second thing is how we prepare now, and what are these trainings that are offered? There's so many trainings being offered currently as a result of a grant called the HANA Career Pathways. A lot of the certificate course offerings are coming up soon, so you'd have to apply very soon. So please click on the link to check out uhhawaii.edu/training. And I'll drop that into the link because there's so much information available, and I don't want you to miss out on some of these course deadlines that are coming up really soon on the 22nd, and other types of skilled training. So here right now in healthcare, we have trainings available as a residential care home advisor, a certified nurse aid assistant, even in dental assisting, medical care, and medical or healthcare jobs have been like unable to fill everything. There's always a demand. So for some of you who might have been laid off as a direct result of COVID and maybe trying to transform into another career that might interest you, there's so many opportunities. Pharmacy, phlebotomy, professional medical coding. So go ahead and click on the link. I also dropped it into the chat for you to consider. Another area is technology. And it was interesting that Sherry in the previous workshop shared about, you know, technology being so required for our futures. And there's all these different types of in-depth training, okay, being offered. A+ cloud networks, how to set up networks and security. So for some of you who might be interested in a career in information technology, these are great certifications that are offered for you to dabble into and maybe build your resume, right? Obtaining these different certifications can really help an employer to understand the types of skill sets that you have. There's also the many trades, you know, there's plumbing, there's carpentry, there's HVAC, there's a whole bunch of things that are being offered as what we refer to as skilled trades, okay? And these are just a few of the courses or programs that are available that you can apply for. I encourage people to apply. Some of these trainings are also scholarship based. So if you apply, you can apply for a scholarship and see if you qualify, and you could get into any of these certificates or training courses that are available to Maui's community. There's currently, this is the one that I was mentioning, deadline is May 22nd. It's a certificate of competence for those who want to really help people. There's a substance abuse counseling. There is full tuition scholarship available. You must have had taken an English course, and the deadline to apply is May 22nd, and you can contact Kealohi at hawaii.edu or call the number 984-3606. I'm moving on to my second goal today with our presentation is about internships and scholarships and cooperative education. So before I go on, I just want to share that in compliance with the Department of Labor, there is a fact sheet number 71. And this is what the Department of Labor shares, okay? It says that FLSA requires for-profit employers to pay work for employees. Interns and students, however, may not be employees under the FLSA, but it does not require compensation for their work. But let's put it this way. What person would not want to be paid for their work, right? So for employers that might be listening, it's a good opportunity to pay potential future interns and or partner with a leased labor company, maybe to hire them as a leased labor employee to test their skills. Often some of my students that have had paid internships, actually employers have used internships time as a way to assess whether or not he or she is a good fit. So that being said, by law, students or interns do not have to be paid, but it is a good incentive for employers to offer paid internships. The other component is risk and liability. Should an employee or someone get hurt, it's better that they're covered under workman's comp, right? So every employer that might listen to this, it is for their choosing to decide whether or not they can offer a paid or unpaid internship. And if you have more questions, please let me know at the end and I can dive deeper into what the Department of Labor says. My next slide is we have many different internships available, and particularly there's one funded by the County of Maui Office of Economic Development. Our county council members voted to really create this pipeline of future workers. There's not many people who might grow up and say, hey, I want to work for the county, you know, and especially our young people, they have their sights set on different things. And so that being said, the County of Maui partner with Maui College, and they're offering paid internships for students who want to explore whether or not you're a degree seeking student or even someone who just wants to explore something new. If you register for Cooperative Education, which is the internship course, you can experience 75 hours at a departmental site that we will coordinate, learn about different career readiness skills, invest in yourself, and then you can get a paid stipend at the end of your completion of 75 hours. So right now is summer school period. Summer school is still available for those who want to register for a course. It's June 1st is a deadline, and then our fall application for fall semester, which starts at the third week in August, that deadline is approaching on August 22nd. And if anyone has any questions about this particular program, feel free to contact our CareerLink office, and we have our number in different places throughout the presentation. There's also some scholarship opportunities available through Haleakala National Park. There's 3 scholarship offerings and the deadline is May 31st. So if you're thinking, maybe I want to do something environmental as far as a career, this is a great way to experience what that would look like. And so Hawaii residents or those graduating from school or college, your deadline is May 31st. And there's a link over there on the bottom to apply for some of these scholarship offerings as well. This other paid internship opportunity, let me share with you how we got this offering. Maui College has been super amazing in comparison to a lot of our campuses, sister campuses across the UH system. Maui College, we really hustle to write grants and create opportunities for our community members. Particularly, this grant is based on a opportunity written by faculty here at Maui College to perpetuate and promote education. And so this particular program is based on educational programming, some library science, as well as AINA, which means land or land-based learning, a little bit more about, you know, Hawaii's land and how we used to be. So perpetuating a little bit about culture and learning more about education in general. It is a Title III program offering in which Maui College qualifies. And so we're grateful that we can offer this particular internship opportunity. And this deadline is approaching here, May 30th. And look, $4,000 in 4 weeks. I mean, that's a pretty good payment. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about, you know, education, library science, and our land, go ahead and contact Aubrey. She can be connected here at aubreykm@hawaii.edu. Thank you, Nico, for putting all of this information into the chat. Okay, so then I'm also sharing some summer offerings that are going on. Space is limited. So the first one is this Mo'olelo Apena for grades pre-K. So if you know someone who's in pre-K to 3rd grade and they want to learn about myths and legends of Hawaii coloring, there's a Zoom link that will be provided. It is on Tuesday, May 24th. And here's the link to sign up. I don't know if perfect. Thank you, Nico. We can get that link into the chat. So the deadline to register is this coming Friday, but the Zoom course offering will be on Tuesday, May 24th during the evening. What a perfect time for those of you who have children, families might be home, your young ones can participate. And so check it out. Another summer event that's happening is called Napua No'eau. It's our Maui summer event. And so this is educating students about cultural enrichment, vehicle knowledge. You have to be in high school, currently in grades 9 through 11. The limit would be people who have a driver's permit. So great opportunity. The dates are June 13th through the 17th. And again, the deadline is approaching on Monday, May 23rd. So just a lot of things available for different ages. And I just want you all to know that when we say UH Maui College or UHMC, even though we provide higher education, truly our campus is open to everyone for all different ages. A lot of our faculty and staff members are in different programs targeted to help different age groups within our community. So to me, I like to think of our college as being more of a community college in a sense that we provide services for all different types of ages and for different types of career studies that people might be interested in. It's not only getting a degree, okay? Okay, my goal 3, which is to identify types and a timeline to get hired. And when I say types, I'm really referring to different types of employers or organizations. And so one of the first things I thought to offer as a tip is you might submit your applications to a bunch of diverse employers and trying to keep track of who you applied to and what you submitted, because some employers may not require a cover letter, some do require a cover letter, some might only offer a resume. And so through Microsoft Office, there's all types of different templates to help job seekers become better organized. And so you can write down the dates or times that you applied, if you followed up with them. If you're familiar with Excel sheet, the sheets in Microsoft Office helps you to keep organized with knowing who you might have submitted your resume application to whatever employer vendors that you reached out to. So this is a great way to get organized, is to obtain a personal job sheet or job log. And Nico, perfect. The link she put into the chat as far as templates that are available to help you in that job seeker mode. Okay, remember I talked about TNT, types of employers or organizations that are hiring, and each of them having another T or another timeline. Every type of organization has different timelines, different types of structures, some more bureaucratic than others, some not so bureaucratic. And what I mean by that is the timeline it takes to get hired. So depending on what your goals might be of when you want to be hired, or the type of job classification that you're interested in, many employers offer different things. So in the previous workshop, Sherry was talking about getting employed at the police department. And that being said, you know, the county probably has a timeline between 6 to 8 months, I believe is what was shared. And it varies. So every employer, it might vary. Same thing with the state of Hawaii. So you can go onto hawaii.gov as well to apply for different types of state jobs. And they have a different timeline. Federal jobs is something different as well, because their timelines are normally very short. Their job postings come out for 3 to 7 days. And if you're not ready, then you miss the boat. And what I mean by not being ready is truly having your resume or your cover letter, your documents. That's what I'm referring to as your documents, your resume and cover letter documents ready for submission. I do want to put a note in there that applying for federal jobs are completely different. Their resume requirements are more chronological and time-based. Someone could have a 10-page resume to submit for a federal job. Very different from the normal standard 1 to 2 type page resumes that might be required for a county or state or mom and pops or any other types of organization. In fact, federal job employment and federal job crafting of resumes should be a whole nother workshop to share from. And so I just want you to know there's a huge difference between applying for different employers. Now, for-profits and nonprofits are the same things. They each have their own preferences and structures and timelines. And I would like to think that our nonprofits and mom and pop stores might be a little bit more friendly and might provide quicker response if you're applying for a job. So mom and pop stores can also be referred to as more small businesses. If you might know the person, or if you go into the store, if you see job postings that are up, you might bring a resume and go and introduce yourself to the owner. And who knows, maybe you could start like the next day or even later that day if they really needed someone to work for them. So just kind of letting you know, there's differences in the timeline of being hired, and you need to be prepared for what that might be, because for someone who might need to get paid right away, it's super important, right? And so we want you to recognize you have those differences. Also, I didn't put lease employers on here, not because I didn't remember about them, but there's so many lease employers here on Maui. In the prior presentation, Betsy shared from Employer Options, there's Altruist, there's a whole there's Jobline Express, there's Aloha International Employment. There's all these different employment companies that are called leased labor companies that provide hiring for some of these employers who might be recruiting, because sometimes employers just don't have the additional network to extend outreach and or to recruit different people. And so through these lease type organizations, you could potentially get hired through them as they service many different entities. So it's a good way to connect and find out more about different job offerings that might suit your needs, flexibility wise, as well as time and scheduling wise as well. Okay. I'm going into my fourth goal, which are about tough topics. And I thought, what is tough topics? Well, for those of you who might know the shortcut TMI, too much information. So I'm just sharing some tips about when you might interview with someone. So, you know, understand the job that you're applying for. Don't just go in there cold turkey and not really know what the organization offers, and be prepared. So that being said, you want to do some research about who you're applying for. Make some time to understand, you know, what are their mission, or what is their vision, and who do they want to help. And I find that nowadays a lot of our our millennials are really connected to fulfilling a purpose. So finding a purpose is really aligning what he or she might value personally and understanding what the organization or employer stands for as well. So that being said, really connecting and diving deeper into what jobs might be available. Another thing about TMI is know yourself. So if you're a chatty box and you like to talk about your family a lot or what have you, you might want to TMI on that one and just really focus in on what an employer might be asking professionally, right? So just know yourself and know what, you know, how you can change. We're all not perfect people. We all have to learn to communicate and do the best. And it's okay if you're nervous. If you're nervous and maybe you didn't hear the question, it's okay. Just go ahead and say, I'm so sorry. Do you mind repeating that question? It's okay for you to do that. So know more about yourself so that when you're interviewing, right, you can improve your own interview skills. You know, watch the videos, practice with someone. For some people who may feel uncomfortable talking to strangers, right? A lot of times your interviewer might be a stranger to you. So it's totally not comfortable. So know yourself, know your limits, and try your best to prepare yourself. And again, practice does make perfect. And the last thing I can share with you is try to visualize what you want the employer to hear and learn about yourself. Because remember, if you're like lockjaw and you can't talk, it really hinders the organization from hearing all the wonderful things about yourself. If you can try to, you know, like take a few deep breaths and try to think, okay, I can do this, and I just need to really share a little bit of who I am and truly, you know, be sincere about who you are. That way the employer can truly find out more information about yourself. Okay, but it's okay. Just take a deep breath. And it's okay for you to say, you know what, I'm so sorry, I'm so nervous, my hands are sweaty and everything else, but I'm going to do my best, and just take a deep breath. Okay, folks, I think our employers or organizations are a lot more patient and accommodating. There's all types of interviews, right? There's in person, there's virtual, and preparing for all these different types of organization requirements are, you know, can be difficult. It wasn't like we had a course on all of this. We just have to adapt. And so that being said, just do your best and be upfront, I think, is the best tip that I can share with you. Be honest with who you are and just do your best. Okay, Another thing is sometimes when organizations might hire you, they might say, sign a consent form or not. It's up to you. Read the consent form. Do not just sign just because somebody gives you a form. Make sure to read it. Some organizations might share with you something like a non-compete form. In other words, you might not be able to work for another employer who offers the same type of services for a period of time. Okay, so you have to read and make sure. And if you're not comfortable, ask the organization if you can check in with a parent or some other professional to kind of coach you or guide you if you're not clear. Never feel hurried to rush and sign any form that an employer might require of you, okay? Another thing is some employers require background checks, a driver's abstract or a credit check. So that being said, it's super important that you're aware that you might, you have a pretty good background check as well as, a driver's abstract. Again, it varies per job and the type of job. If you're planning to be a driver, the high likelihood you're going to be required to provide a driver's abstract, right? If you're going to be doing something with money, right? A job that might require money handling, high likelihood that you'll get a credit check. If you're doing something in enforcement and or teaching or what have you, high likelihood you're going to have a background check. So whatever that is, you might want to try to clean up any of these areas that you might not be a shining star in. You know what that is. You can get help to try to clean up some of these areas, and or just try to do your best to fill your resumes with good things so that you can conquer some of these tough topics. These are tough topics for some people, and you can always consult, the American Job Center and see what kind of support and help, or even us, with helping you to balance this. And I want to give you a real story. So my cousin applied for a job at a hotel, and she applied for a front desk clerk. And she signed that she would do a credit check, and then she didn't get the job offer, and she was super hurt about it. And she realized that they did a credit check and her credit wasn't that great. It was like in the 600s. A pretty good credit score is about 700, 720. And so different employers might have different requirements. So my cousin who applied for the job, who didn't get it, was super bummed. And it took her, several years to clean up her credit. And guess what? Today, she works at a hotel at the front desk. So I just want you to know that no matter where you are, there is definite hope for you to become better or to correct or improve things from the past. It is totally not the end of the world. And I would just encourage you to get help if you need the help. Start applying yourself so that you can conquer all the things that sometimes getting a job requires, okay? Okay, make connections. For some of you, that might mean finding or maintaining a mentor. Who do you ask for help, right? And so I just want you to know that the American Job Center, it's part of our job to help people. And the reality is that you have to be honest with yourself as well. People are so willing to help you, and you just have to create those everlasting impressions that you really want to change and do better or get to that next place, wherever that career might be. So that being said, if you're meeting with someone, make sure to keep their name and contact information so that you can reach out to them again in the future. You can go and visit as much as you can schedule an appointment time with, right? So really think about how you make these connections and how people are truly vested in helping you to succeed. Find a mentor. You know, it could be a former supervisor or former colleague or teacher. Stay in touch with them. Well, someone might say, well, how do I stay in touch with someone, right? Well, maybe you can visit them on occasion at their office, or maybe send a Christmas card, or just drop a phone call, whatever that is, you know, to help someone remember who you are and how you might have helped them. And so, you know, really think about how these professionals that you might consult can really help you in the future. Another thing that I thought of sharing was, you know, setting new goals. You know, financial education is so important, and setting new goals about where you want to be, what you want to do, what kind of career you want to have might also include some financial education about really examining your own personal budget, you know, knowing what your wants and your needs are. Do you really need that, or is that more of a want, right? Setting saving goals, whether or not that's short-term and long-term. You know, opening a retirement account, if that's what some of your organizations might offer when you get hired, whatever that is, whether or not it's talking to your bank if you might be behind on loans or trying to refinance to a lower interest rate, right? So all of these tips can be very helpful for you. Part of my bio said makahana ka ike, and that means in doing one learns. It is a proverb by a famous Hawaiian scholar, Mary Kavena Pukui. And I just thought about, you know, the reflection on how we all learn. Everyone learns at a different pace, but truly we all learn by doing. So earlier, that presentation about nonprofits, volunteering, doing community service, right? Serving nonprofits can truly help you to explore different skills that really interest and engage you. So this particular job fair that we're having on Thursday will expose you to different nonprofits that you might not have heard of. So that's why it's a great opportunity for you to come and learn. Providing community service is not just a young thing or a middle-aged thing or an old thing. No, it's really about serving a purpose that really suits your needs. So I encourage you, you know, to explore, educate, excel. And sometimes through these nonprofits and community service type work that you do, you meet these amazing people from all types of careers that, who knows, could be your next network, right? They could be a next referral for your next job, right? And remember, submitting a resume might also require submitting references. It's a great way to find a reference and connect with someone. So continue to explore, educate, and excel. Here at Maui College, part of my role is not only serving students, coordinating internships, but I also write grants. And like I mentioned earlier, Maui College is truly a special place because a lot of our faculty and staff are not only teaching, they're busy serving our community by writing grants to provide opportunities for people. So that being said, I was part of a team that wrote a grant, and we are in the midst of signing a contract to provide this database. It's called like a customer resolution software. It's called Handshake. And Handshake is the #1 way to connect college students with getting hired as well as alumni. And so I'm just sharing that with you because you might hear of this company. It's called Handshake. And hopefully by this coming summer, we will be able to deploy this and share this opportunity with many of you to participate in learning about different career resources internships, as well as job opportunities, particularly for college students and alumni. So, you know, there's so many diverse workforce needs, and I'm going to share with you 3 of them that came to mind. In addition to medical and enforcement always needing hiring, I thought about these key places that really need help. If you love teaching, we are in high demand for educators and teachers, and especially in our remote site locations. So if you are listening and you live on Lanai, Molokai, or Hana, like our total remote site locations, and you reside in those areas, there is a high demand for educators. And so couple of these links will send you to different types of teacher type certifications. You can have an associate degree and actually be able to teach in some of our CTE programs. Normally, teachers who teach in the Department of Education require a bachelor's degree and a teaching certificate. There's an exception about CTE, so you could get an associate degree as well as still teach. So teachers, we need you. And if you love teaching, why not help our students or our minors with being a teacher? Another area in high demand is childcare, and we just don't have enough childcare places for a lot of families that reside here to provide childcare for our professionals or community workers. I remember reading different articles that nurses had and doctors had, and they didn't have childcare, and that's super tough. For those of you who might already live at home or work from home, and you might be babysitting your family's children, your home could become certified as a child care provider. So think about that. You can go on to the Patch website, parents and teachers, you know, like providing childcare for youth. You can learn how to create your own childcare business from that Patch website. So just sharing with you, those are like 2 high demand areas here in Maui County and for many other locations as well. And then the last thing I was thinking about was sustainable agriculture, right? We all know that Hawaii needs to start really learning more about creating agriculture or growing and being less dependent on shipments that come from the mainland, right? So that we can grow our own produce or what have you. And I thought of sharing CTAR, which is the University of Hawaii at Manoa. There's this department called College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resources. In this website, there's all kinds of information that are available here in Maui County that you might not be aware of. In fact, this past Saturday, I drove by the swap meet area and they had like a plant sale. They had so many different things going on. And so for community members, if you've never heard of our CTAR agriculture office here at Maui College, it is across of our health center. If you drive along towards the swap meet side on that back road area, they have all types of programs to learn about livestock, to learn about, and I want to click on there so that you guys can see. There's vegetable production, landscape. So if you want to learn, community members, there's so much opportunity of learning here. There's some 4-H youth development, intergenerational programs, nutrition and food safety, soils and plant management, urban horticulture, just a whole bunch of information available to our community. And so I'm really hopeful that if you're listening in, that you will take advantage of checking out this website and reaching out. Okay. So with representing Maui College, I want to help our community members to become more engaged with the college. And a lot of people feel like, oh, you know, I'm not really college material, whatever that means. And so I just want to really learn more about yourself. What are things that we can do to better help our community? So there's a short survey, and if Nico doesn't mind putting that survey into the chat for me, if you folks don't mind filling it out and sharing with me things that might interest you, other training offerings that you might be interested in connecting with. If you need more financial education help, you know, perhaps we can be a link to connecting you with different banks or what have you, whatever that is. So if you have time to complete this survey, that would be great. Also, we're also trying to understand what our community needs are. So some of our community needs, you know, we have so many needs right in our community with disabilities, economically disadvantaged, and what have you. And so often we try to connect with different partners like the County Maui, there's SEDS reports, healthcare reports, and really find out about what our needs are in our community. So if you are able to participate, that would be great, just for us to learn more and how we can provide improved services and assistance for our community members. And our last thing is, I just want to thank you for attending today's workshop. This is my email and phone contact information. And if you have any questions, I am so glad to be able to answer any questions that you might have at this time as well. And I'm going to stop share.
Hi, Julie. I
Hi.
missed your telephone number, so if you can add that, and the link that you had to that survey, I couldn't click on the screen share to get the link. So if you can share that in the chat box, would be great.
Perfect.
And I want to ask anybody if there are any questions for Julie, because boy, Julie, that was amazing. That was
a lot.
absolutely.
That was a lot. Sorry.
It's a lot of information, but if you put the presentation in the chat, then everybody can click on the links that I might have missed because I couldn't click on it. So that would be really super for you to do as well.
Okay.
But you know, the one thing that I did not hear you talk about that might be prevalent for anybody, whichever age they are gaps in employment. You know, how would you handle that at the job fair? What would you say?
Gaps in employment. Yes. Okay. So for a period of time, the trend has been, from research, that is, that as baby boomers retire, that's the gap, right? The next generations, there's not as much babies or people in the workforce like the baby boomer generation. So when we're talking about gaps, not only is that a gap in employment, but there's a gap in skills and knowledge. And what I'm talking about is all these people with so much knowledge and resources, you know, they're leaving the workforce. And that's a huge gap for people coming in who might not be familiar with different things that happen. Let me give you an example to make it more concrete and real. What about politics, right? When we talk about different cabinet changes, right? If you don't know what the history was from county council about a certain topic, and then you're bringing it up again, right? I mean, it's just it's a vicious cycle, because you might go back and try the same things that they already tried 5, 10, 20 years ago. So sometimes it's really important to have that knowledge passed forward so that it can improve efficiencies with regards to talent, right? Work skill, just partnerships and networks. And so very important for you to connect with people who may be leaving the workforce, so that there's this mentorship going on, so that knowledge can be passed on to the next generation. I mean, it would be good to have that. Not employers might refer to this as succession planning, right? Succession planning with passing on this knowledge, company knowledge or organizational knowledge to that next generation of learners, I think is so important. And so I'm really hopeful that as you all grow and learn, that you can really think about what that looks like in your organization, as well as how do I perpetuate that to improve the quality of life for people in different organizations.
So another piece that I think what you spoke about, volunteering allows you to meet possible mentors, right? It allows you an opportunity to understand that, hey, that I really get along with that person, and look how far they are, and maybe they can, you know, show me how to get there. And volunteering is a great way to do that. You said a couple of things though. You said to keep cards of people that you speak to, so you can later connect with them if you had that nice connection, and make sure to send thank you notes to anybody that you have spoken with regarding jobs or mentorships. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I always feel that sometimes those are missed opportunities. We might grab a card and we might not remember, you know, where did I meet this person from? This name doesn't sound familiar. So a tip I've used over the years is I might grab a card and I'm writing behind it, what, you know, like information about how I met them. Okay, so it was on this date at this event, and these are just a few things we had in common that I would want to explore, right? So just really trying to keep track of all the dynamic people that you might come in contact with, and see, you know, whether or not your values or goals or things that you are involved in are connected, right? And just taking that next step to, hey, send them an email or give them a call and just say, hey, you remember I met you at this? And, you know, I was wondering if we could have some time to talk about this and how we can expand on that opportunity or what have you. It's the same thing with people in business, right? I mean, you connect through the different people that you work with, right? And that's all about networking and connecting. It's the same thing when I think of how you can find different mentors to help you or support your dream, or lead you into a path to learn more about, right? And so just overall in general, how do we connect with others?
That's amazing. So your presentation had so much in it, which is awesome. And I think trying to, one of the best things you did was at the end, you gave your information of how to connect with you, because there are little bits and pieces in there that make so much sense. And did you put the presentation in the chat box?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so that right there, anyone who's listening, go ahead and you can copy this chat box. If you click on the three dots that are at the bottom of your chat box area, you'll see, you know, next to there's a little sheet, there's a little smiley face. If you click on those three dots at the top, it says save chat. If you save that chat, it's going to be in your Zoom account. So you can have all of those links. And that is really easy to do, and something that you might need, because there's a lot packed in there. And Julie, as usual, you just are, you make everything sound not just easy, but inviting.
Well, you know, one of my thoughts are, you actually said this in the introduction, how we create access to higher education, how we create equity and diversity. And I think that's where we need to start. And
Well,
so
you are,
changing that mindset of who Maui College is important
Mm.
so that all people can know they can come here and learn, whether or not it's a degree or
Right.
just the workshop. So just different links to help people.
and the last presentation, they were talking about learning Excel and Word, and you all have ability to take those classes, just those classes,
Yes.
or anything that's going to upskill your current resume. And so let me put that in the chat box also. So boy, this chat box has been busy.
I know, and we've offered free computer training for our community. We did that earlier in the year, and we often, share about these different resources. And I'll be sure to share that with you because I know you put blogs on the Maui County Virtual Job Fair site, and I think that's so important for our community members to connect, that there are free resources available, that you don't have to pay for every single thing, that we really want to elevate our entire community with skills, and connecting through the college is a great way to do so.
That's incredible. Well, Julia, thank you so much for putting together such a power-packed presentation. All of those links and resources can be helpful to any walk of life. And so that's what I appreciate about it most, is someone older like me, if I wanted to jump in and see if there's something that I might be able to do more of to help my community, or if it's somebody who's still in high school, plenty of opportunity way ahead of you. So you are a great leader and very inspirational, and the gifts you shared today are going to go, it speaks volumes and will go miles. So thank you for sharing with us. I totally appreciate it. And I want to just show you all, I'm going to stop the presentation right now, but then I'm going to show you a few things. So thank you, Julie, stopping the
Thank you.
presentation.